It's Saturday, May the 28th, and it's the start of the Swiftsure Race. There are actually 6 races. The first 2 go around the Swiftsure lightship that's anchored in the Pacific. The whole race is about 170 nautical miles, and they have 48 hours to complete that. They're just waiting for the start at the moment. There, you see the flag, which is part of the start line at one end, and there's a naval vessel somewhere over there. That's the start. The other end of the start line. I think it's over there. So all the boats are waiting over here. After this start of this race, there are 4 others. Black sails you see there, they're the big racing boats. The mast on that one there is a carbon fiber mast, and the sail is carbon fiber as well. And you can see quite a few people who are the crew, and there's hardly any wind, but that boat certainly doesn't have any trouble sailing. Our boat, we're going to try to do this or some one of the shorter races next year, and of course our boat is quite slow. It's a very heavy ocean-going boat, and the way they equalize everything is that every boat has a handicap depending on its capabilities. So, for instance, that catamaran or trimaran that you see over there with a carbon sail will probably have a very low handicap. So, whereas the one that's coming towards you, which is a full with a monohull boat, will probably have more of a handicap than that. So, let's try to equalize the two. So, the way the handicap works is that the slower your boat, in other words, the heavier your boat, the higher number you have, and the faster your boat, as some of these racing boats with big black carbon sails, the lower number you have. Now I was looking at the list yesterday, and the highest number, in other words the slowest boat, had about a 240, and the fastest boat had a handicap of minus 51. And at the end, you sort of add the points up, and of course if you have a slow boat, you get a bit of an advantage for this. So as you can see there's a naval vessel 710. It has an orange flag. That's the other end of the start line. And you also have Coast Guard vessel somewhere over here standing by.
Bill Coney was an absolute legend.
Where is he?
This is about to start. You can see that the start line, one end is this orange flag over here, and the other end is the naval vessel there, and you can see the first race is about to begin, and there are the faster boats going around the Swiftsure Bank lightship, and they're about to start. They're all getting ready to go. They're probably going to jockey for position as the time approaches. And of course, there's a police boat there. To make sure everything is okay. And the Coast Guard. There you go. That's the start.
It took a long time
And there they go. A lot of them have their spinnakers up because there's a bit of a following breeze. This is the start. The finish line is at Macaulay Point in Victoria, and I've volunteered to be at the finish line starting midnight tonight at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then they expect some of the faster boats to be coming in at that time. We are about 10 minutes into the race right now, and you can see the leaders heading off towards the American side. There isn't much wind this morning. It's supposed to pick up later towards this afternoon, and I was looking at the currents for this morning, and unfortunately the currents are all running in this time. They're a little lighter on the American side, and I think that's what the strategy is for the boats to head off to that side. So they're hindered a little less by the currents. We're getting ready for the start of another race, and the boats are all lining up. Kind of a great day. It's started drizzling right now. The weather isn't really supposed to improve very much. There you go. Here's the start. You can see the cannon, the smoke from the cannon, and now you can see the sound of the cannon.
Well, that's
6.5 hours from the start of the race. On this map, you can see Victoria at one end. You've got the green triangles here are the start line, which we saw this morning, and the red triangles are the end of the race. And you can see that over here you've got the location on the yellow triangle here is the location of the Swiftsure lighthouse ship on Swiftsure banks, and so the boats that are in this race have to go around that and come down and finish the race at Victoria. In the lead, you can see the beige colored boats. These are the boats that left first. You can also see some of the multi-hulls, the trimarans, this one over here, Freda May and Unleaded. And behind that, you can see this whole flotilla of boats that started later on in the morning. If you click on here, on this icon over here, it tells you what the conditions are at Nia Bay. Here's the United States over here. This is Vancouver Island. And it shows you what the conditions are at Nia Bay in the US. Some of the boats will be turning around at this point. And the winds are from the east at 5 knots, so they're coming from this direction. The winds are light, but they're in a very favorable direction for this race. Some of the boats will turn around here, and for the inshore race, the boats will turn around, I think, somewhere near Souk and then head back. "12 hours since the start of the race, and as you can see, most of the boats turn around at Callum Bay or at Nia Bay. The ones at Nia Bay are just sort of getting around to reaching Nia Bay and turning around. The rest of the boats have to go all the way to the Swiftsure bank, which is over here, and those boats are the brown boats who are here, like this one over here, Planet Express, Xiomara. This one going to Swiftsure as well. And so they've got a long ways to go. They probably won't get here till, middle of the night or early tomorrow morning. And then they've got to turn around and come all the way back to Victoria, to the finish line over here. If you look at Nia Bay, let's look at the weather at Nia Bay. The wind right now is 20 knots from the northeast, so from this direction. And so this is a good direction for the boats. The wind is not horribly strong, but it's good, so they'll be able to use it to make good progress around this point and then come back. So that is it for the moment. 4 hours since the race began, and as you can see, most of the boats are back in Victoria. The only ones left out there are the ones for the monohull race that went around Nia Bay. The ones that were supposed to go around the Swiftsure Lighthouse are on their way back. The only one that is still out there that is in the process of going around the lighthouse is Millennial Seagull.